Okay, so here we are. I just watched Kyle. So I just watched him run 3 steers on the horse. One of them cut left and was terrible. And then I had him score one because I felt like he was kind of leading with the gate, so I want to see. He scored one, and the horse scored perfectly. I've seen this horse. I've never been on him, never ridden him. So this horse is 15.3. I asked him how tall he was, and he said almost 16 inches. This is, to me, a great size for a head horse. I watched him go, so I'm just going to run a couple on him, and then we'll see what we think. Okay, so we just got done Snowflake, Arizona, roping on Caver, and Kyle roped. He loves us. Kyle roped, I think 4 on him, and then I got on and finished the set, which is 4-5, and came back and roped the whole set, maybe 12 or 14 altogether. And like, I don't mind roping that many on my horses. I don't mind on other people's horses. Like, that's a lot, but at the same time, it lets you kind of get a feel for what the horse is going to do in the box. We scored, ran 4, scored 1, maybe twice, so scored 2 or 3. And this horse, he never elevated. One steer we scored, he kind of came forward, but when I pulled on him, he stayed flat. This horse is so good in the box. This horse, when I started, I previewed some horses yesterday, and one thing I said is, it takes a long time to really get a feel for a horse. The second set I did, I roped more comfortable on him. I got a feel for him, and he kind of got a feel for me of where I like to rope from. I think it takes months and months for a horse and rider to really get completely on the same page of what you want. But one of the reasons we previewed like this right here is we get a feel for, make sure the horse isn't going to be bad in the box, make sure the horse isn't going to duck off, make sure, so many things that we can do right here that I feel like this horse passed every test. He was so good in the box every time. He walks in, I like to be able to walk a horse in with just a loose rein, one hand on my reins. He went all the way to the rail, all the way to the side rail, and then just backed up. This box is a little bit low, and so I didn't just mash him against the back because it catches him just a little bit too low. Horse left flat every time, right towards the steer. He never wanted to come out and fade and hang. If anything, for me, he was a little bit free at first. I would rope, and then he would keep moving forward through my throw just a tiny bit. By the second round, 5th or 6th steer, I felt like he got better and better about wanting to read my throw and come off my throw better. We roped 3-year-old Mexicans with big horns. We roped, little freshies that just are broke in. He ran to them. He let me manage him in the corner. If anything, like on the bigger steers, I would have, for me, maybe a horse that was just a little bit quicker, but this horse never tried to get quick. He never tried to take my rope away. He was easy to handle steers on. He finishes good. The very first steer that I roped, I got caught. Dalen heeled him, and I got caught right here, and I hadn't started him around. But every other steer, when I've seen his shot, I was able to start facing on him. This horse was really easy. I felt like if I could, so the one thing I felt like I wish is, and I got better and better as we went on, but I wish I could get him coming back up the arena just a tiny bit more. If I could find one hole in him, I would like to have just a little bit more come back up the arena. That's the only thing that I could say, like, tell me everything bad about him. That was it. So I really feel like I want Kyle just to say a few things. Kyle bought this horse when he was 1 year old, trained him, raised, you know, pretty much raised him and do everything. So I want you just to tell us a little bit about that process to make such a nice horse.
Yeah, so I bought him as a yearling, and I spent all the time on him, and, which is a lot of time. I mean, we're talking when I first started off, you know, 5 to 6 days in the round pen, and then when we finally went to riding and roping, it's, you know, 5 days a week on his back. But spent a lot of time with him on the foundation, just on the ground, getting him right on the ground, getting him soft. He'll counterbend both ways very well. As Matt was talking about, there was a couple of barn burners that Matt was roping, and I mean, there's not a steer that I've been behind that can outrun him. If you're coming out strong on the box, he'll put you there every time. He's fast, but he also rates really well. He puts you at the same spot at the steer every time. As far as catching him, he's the first to meet you at the gate. He's the one that wants to, I mean, right now he's looking at me, nudging me, wanting me to put the halter on him. But ducks his head when you put the halter on him. In terms of leading him, I mean, he's right here at your side the whole time. There's not you're not having to pull a horse with you. He moves out good. He's been over water, been over deadfall, been up in the mountains, in the branding pen. Really not a whole lot that I haven't done on him. And just he's a great, he's a horse that you can go to a high number jackpot with and win on him, but you can also have your daughter or wife or young son rope on him as well and win at the same time.
One more thing that I really like about a horse and tells you so much about a horse is even horses sometimes that score good, when you go to walk them out of the box, the first reaction is to jump and turn their butt sideways and then come out. You know, I'm a little bit nervous in the box and I'm wanting to get away from here. But a couple of times we sat in the box for 30 or 40 seconds. This horse sat, never tried to go. After the steers I scored, he kind of wants to like almost trot, but just a real relaxed trot, not a, which shows and says to me that he's relaxed in the box because he will just walk out of the box and he doesn't ever just want to jump and get away from you. And which, like, that says to me so much about a horse everywhere. You know, this horse is going to be relaxed in the arena. I don't like to drop my rope, so I trotted down behind every steer, but he just trotted. You know, he stayed behind the steers. When the steers would kind of move, he would almost cow with them the whole time. Just like I said, it shows that this horse, to me, is just real relaxed, doesn't hate his job, friendly. I mean, you can see right here, he's just almost wanting to lick Kyle to death, but that tells me a lot about a horse that I like.